How you doing, folks? One of the questions I get asked an awful lot from people who I know about is all around neurodiversity. So people who are dyslexic, they're asking me, are they still dyslexic, or are they neurodiverse or neurodivergent, or are they neurotypical? And I'm not the best one to actually explain all that. Someone like Anne-Marie, who's been in the business around neurodiversity and dyslexia for the last 19 years and has authored a number of books all about the subject, is the best person to ask. So Anne-Marie, can you explain to people what is neurodiversity, neurotypical, what does it encompass?
Sure, no problem. Okay, so they're very big words. That's the first place I'd like to start. And for people who are dyslexic particularly, big words don't make a lot of sense. But what neurodiversity actually is made of is two different words. Neuro meaning your brain, diversity meaning a variety. So it's basically a variety of learning styles. Now, then you come to this word neurotypical. So neurotypical implies that there's a group of people who've developed along the same way, and that these ones are the ones that are flourishing, and that the neurodiverse people are the ones that are not. Now, for me, everyone's brain is different, so that's what neurodiverse means. All our brains are different. They all develop in different ways. For example, we have 3 kids, all very different. One's dyslexic. Did he learn to read? Did he learn to walk and talk like all of the others at the same time? He did. In fact, the 3 of them were walking and talking way ahead. So if you look up the dictionary explanation, they should all be neurotypical. But for me, everybody's different. Everyone's brain functions differently. So the whole planet is made up of a group of neurodivergent people who are neurodiverse.
When we talk to parents now, would a parent like to have a neurotypical child or a neurodiversity child? Okay, so I can't even get it right. So, if you ask Richard Branson which one he would rather be, like, he's doing very well being dyslexic. So, like, there's an implication that if you're neurotypical, you're doing better than everybody else, which is rubbish.
That brings me back to my first point. There is no such thing, to my mind, as a neurotypical person. I mean, when I went to school, I would have been viewed as neurotypical. I went along, I was like reasonably good at school. But then when I was doing my training, I realised I had ADD. So I'm now no longer neurotypical. I now belong to the other category of neurodivergent people. So to me, everybody thinks differently. Everybody learns differently. And what you need to do is to equip children and adults with tools to help them progress in life. So it doesn't matter, forget about the labels. Sometimes labels are helpful to get extra resources in school. Sometimes they're not. So we're not saying that the neurotypical kids don't need any help. Everybody needs help in different areas, maybe not the same areas. So a dyslexic child might need help, with new tools for reading. A dyscalculic, which is maths, another confusing word, might need tools for maths. The ADHD children might need some emotional, social regulation tools. The autistic child might need other different social and emotional tools. But I suppose the beauty of what I do as a Davis facilitator is we have solutions for all of those. We're not trying to change any of our students. We're just trying to equip them with tools that they need.
Right, okay. And it's interesting, when I went to school, I didn't know I was dyslexic. I couldn't spell the word then, and I still can't spell the word properly. And I knew I wasn't going to do well in exams, and yet there was someone sitting beside me who was a genius of the class. But when it came to Leaving Cert, he got physically sick and missed all the exams. No, I'd done the exams. I did rubbish, but I'd done the exams, right? But like you would have said that he was neurotypical.
So that goes back to the point that child needed a different set of tools.
Yes.
He needed tools to help him cope with stress and anxiety. So everybody needs tools. They all just need a different set of tools, maybe. And what's appropriate for them. I mean, I also knew someone who was in school, very, very academic girl. She was a year ahead of me in school, and she failed absolutely everything in the Leaving Cert. Some of the kids that were rubbish in school passed things because they weren't as concerned, maybe, and she was under probably a huge amount of pressure because she was, like you said, viewed as this highly academic, neurotypical child where life is easier. Not always true.
So is it a good thing that we're now using this term neurodiversity, around a group of people, or was it easier to tell children, adults, you're ADHD, you're dyslexic, you're dyspraxia, you're autistic, like, why this word?
I think it was to make a group of people feel not so isolated, that they just had a different thinking style, which if you have ever been involved in Davis, as I have for 19 years, you would know that we already knew this. We already knew that everybody had a different thinking style. The world is just catching up with Davis.
Right, okay, makes sense. Now, if you need more information, just go to mindseyeeducation.com, or you can email me, markbeggs@gmail.com. And if you want one of Anne-Marie's books, A Bridge Between Two Me's, available as a bestseller on Amazon, or go on to theparagraphchallenge.com to buy it directly. And our second book, Healthy Mind, Healthy Body, is doing extremely well. And do you want to tell them what Healthy Mind, Healthy Body is?
So Healthy Mind, Healthy Body is a project I started during lockdown, I suppose. I mean, I had thoughts about it prior to that, but during lockdown, when I saw so many kids developing, a lot of anxiety, mental health issues, and over the past 19 years, I've noticed that, it's something that when kids come up against a lot of blocks, the anxiety increases, and the anxiety increasing creates a lot of mental health issues. So during the COVID lockdown, I wrote a program for some of my students, some of whom had a diagnosis of autism, others were dyspraxic, dyscalculic. There were a range of different children within the group. It was a small group, and we were able to socially isolate them into small areas. And what I did was I looked at what did they need to go back to school in September, having come from 2 years of not being in school. Some of them were coming from small classes where there's only 5, these are specialist classes. But then they were being thrown into a secondary school environment with over 100, and I knew they weren't going to flourish. So what I did was I wrote a program that gave them the tools to help them, not just survive but flourish. And then we decided we'd put this into a book called Healthy Mind, Healthy Body, because if you haven't got a healthy mind and you haven't got a healthy body, you're not going to be healthy. One works off the other. So it's very easy to read, simply laid out, and logical.
And it's available on theparagraphchallenge.com. So if you need me, it's markbeggs@gmail.com. And the only question I'm going to simply ask you is, how can I help you? Have a great day. Take care.
Take care.